Norton has said if it doesn't work, Richard Barnett will go back to fullback.
No, talking to Graham during the week, he's pleasantly surprised with the way that Anthony's slotted in, and it gives him another option. Yeah, we know he's talking about playing an attacking style of football. Anthony Swan.
And Carroll to bring it immediately back towards the 20. Strong defence from Nikau and also Kearney. Tallis, without a doubt, the explosive runner they've got to stop up the middle.
He is got injured in the first Tri-Series game against New South Wales. A dynamic runner, very, very similar to Kurt Sorensen. And as you said, you've certainly got to stop him in his tracks because he can beat you on his own.
Kiwis flying in and forcing the ball to be fumbled. Great defence. They really charged in amongst it all. Nice and fired up. Walters tried to push it out the back. Gatorade replay just showing they came in big numbers. Question mark on an earlier tackle from Tony Iro. I thought it was a little bit high. Confidently, Rapati enjoyed a good match against the Broncos, where I thought he outplayed Carroll, and he's up against the same men tonight, Carroll and also Darren Smith. He's more comfortable amongst the forwards, Darren Smith. Iro nice and wide with Nikau, changing the angle back up the middle just outside the 20. And again as they try to keep it alive, and this one will be picked up by Rogers. Nervously sidelined early for Graham Norton. Right on the 30 for them to bring it away and try and settle down, but they really are charging in, Huey.
They certainly are. The concentration tonight, or the emphasis tonight, will be on their defence. They're going in threes. The call throughout the week is that defence will be in threes. It'll be good attack too. You'll see the inclusion or the injection of young Anthony Swan a lot more on the back line, as what we've seen with the Warriors.
How confident are you about the win?
I'm very confident. The way that the team have prepared throughout the week, and especially Graham getting into their heads. He's very, very deep in the way he thinks about this game. I think he has got into their heads, and hopefully we will see a massive turnaround.
Nice deep kick from Langer. So now they settle and get in a comfortable 6.
Your Alfie Langer, certainly his kicking game, not a long kicking game, but as effective as anyone playing the game, as we can see here on the Gatorade replay. Good, well-angled kick, just the right distance. Great start for both sides, and I've got to say that I'm pleased seeing Vangana start. I'd much rather see him in the first starting lineup as opposed to coming off the bench.
Jones for Namu to step back up towards the forwards, and he gets punished for that.
I mean, that's what should happen. The halfback runs in amongst the forwards, he's going to get punished.
Rapati looking for runners. Kearney, Nikau, good quick hands. Iro brings Barnett off his wing, but confidently inside their own 20 they spread it. And they milk it for the penalty too. Annesley not going to wear any of this. Already in the opening 4 minutes, we've seen Iro and Nikau out amongst the centres on a couple of occasions.
Well, when you've got players like that on your side, that's where you've got to have them, because that's where they're the most dangerous. They've got pace, they can both offload the ball. They're a great pairing.
Switch down the blind side. Nikau looking for runners, finding Kearney. Kearney for Barnett. Clever play on a short side.
Come back!
Jones, Pongia. Kiwis looking to do what New South Wales did to Queensland, lay on early points. Iro again, running behind a man. It all becomes unstuck, and Annesley's got them for the Shepherd. Some interference. But they are threatening and looking dangerous.
Well, the Gatorade replay shows there a bit of obstruction. Tony Iro using that, but gee whiz, he looks dangerous down this left-hand side of the park. He is already causing a problem for Queensland.
And again they come in threes. And that has caused some problems. Greenhill in a lot of trouble. Tallis, Nikau climbs aboard. And they backslamming. Annesley screaming out to play the ball. The penalty comes.
Calm down, Gordon. 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 calm down.
But
Okay,
they're
mate, with the
hurting
ball.
and they are
Calm down,
bustling.
keep your arms
Well, have a
down
look at
with the
this for a
ball.
tackle. Nikau going straight in. It's good to see this, I reckon. The forwards sorting one another out. We don't want pussycat football out there. We want proper hard tri-series football, and this is what we're getting served up at the moment.
Thorne. Greenhill.
Come back, James, come on.
Midfield for Langer. And Tallis again. And they come over the top once more. Tongia this time.
He'll love it, Gordon Tallis. So he's as tough as they come.
Kevin Walters. Into the line comes Lockyer. That's the variety to take some of the pressure off Walters. And Langer. Walters again. 5 metres away, Queensland. Their first chance at it. They go down to the last tackle. Langer normally kicks wide for either Sailor or Rogers. Sends one out to Sailor's wing. He gets set to climb. Dead. Pushed dead by the Kiwis. And it'll be a line dropout.
Well, great effective kicking already from Alfie Langer. The Gatorade replay shows us. Pinpoint, really. Just about straight into Wendell Sailor's hands, but Sean Hoppy just saved the day.
Life's tough in the modern game for the wingmen. They have to handle so many bombs.
Well, good job. They get paid enough, so they don't do much else except sign autographs out there. It's about time they started doing a bit of work.
Well, you talk about the test match and how that got away from the Kiwis early. In the modern game, I hear this word so often, we weren't focused enough. Dare I test the vintage of you? Is that the right word, focus?
Yeah. I'm not into all this modern stuff. As I've said before, to win these sort of games, there's only one secret. Pull your finger out and get stuck in.
They do that just now through Nikau and Kearney. Kevin Walters can't go to sleep against this man. Kearney certainly didn't. Tried to put him to sleep. Langer. Thorne will play it just outside the 20. Steve Walters very quickly from dummy half sets it up right in front of the post. Last tackle. Langer has them stretched. Back-to-back sets it. 6 as they set it up. Great defence in the end. They came from everywhere to shut it down. Ryan nearly thought he had a try.
It was great defence, but gee whiz, the Queenslanders, they just keep going and going and going. That Broncos influence, and they're coming up with great defence themselves now.
Here's some of your own back, they say. Namu.
Well, what they do is they just ride the attack, defend well, and then just turn the heat up on you.
Plenty of possession, early stages for Queensland. Back-to-back sets of 6, but it could not produce a result. Tongia.
New Zealand now has to fight hard to get that field position. That's the key. Can't afford to play Queensland down this end of the park.
Iro living on this short side. Barnett nowhere to go. Last tackle. Trying to get it away from Lockyer. There's got to be a good chase tonight against Lockyer and especially Sailor.
Yeah, Lockyer, a fine player. And as you said, Wendell Sailor, what a great player he is. But that's a fairly good chase there. You don't get much better. Served up with a bit of medicine as well.
Speak of the devil, Sailor. He stands and unloads brilliantly. Rogers will have support inside, can't go to him now. The Kiwis have to hurry. Turned around by Sailor. Langer goes wide and numbers with the overlap if they get it right. Great defence again and they put it down. Sailor cannot believe it. And I think Queensland might have just travelled a little bit too far with the ball and took nobody out of play.
Yeah, well, have a look at this run here on the Gatorade replay. Wendell Sailor, big, powerful, strong man. But Nigel Vangana, he saved the day for the Kiwis out there. Not quite an effective tackle, but he did the job in slowing Wendell down. But look at the support just pouring up here. They're turning the heat on big time now, Queensland. And really, they should have come up with a try after this play.
Or even a bigger version in Joe. He's off to the blood bin. Nearly 10 gone here at Ericsson. And there's plenty of threats from both sides.
Leave Aaron first. Come back.
Tyron Smith. Haven't seen a lot of him this year.
Come back, please. Come back. Come back.
But he gets his opportunity from the bench, and the Kiwis get another one from a penalty from Annesley.
Well,
And they take a quick tap.
they needed that to relieve some pressure. They've got to get down to the Queensland end of the field.
Namu. Tremendous pace, Huey.
This is good stuff. This is what we'd like to see, and I think New Zealand have shown their hand both in defence, as we've seen, in tackling in threes and the intensity they're showing, and also they're willing to throw the ball out wide. The support play has been highlighted throughout training this week, and we're seeing it coming through the game at this stage, and that was a good ploy by Ruben Wiki. Take them by surprise. Let's open this game up.
Good short ball up in the last passage from Nika. Now there's a chance. He went inside. Wiki, if he had stayed outside, would have had an extra man on the wing.
Yeah, well, New Zealand had a certain chance there, but they've got to come up with another one.
They will settle on a midfield bomb. Queensland not all that keen to play at it. Cleverly knocked back. It must be kicked again to the end goal. Will it be too far? It will. Anthony Swan tried to take a chance. That brought Norton to his feet on the bench.
He's down on the bench, not like a lot of coaches do, like sitting up in their box, but I think Graham Norton is what the public like to see. He shows his emotion. He's not like a lot of Christmas Island statues.
It's supposed to be a game of passion and emotion, isn't it?
Well, he comes up with plenty of it.
There's been some fumbles, but that's been forced by some heavy defence from both sides. Thorne. Nikau down low, gets plenty of support from Smith and Eru. Queensland hustling and bustling.
Well, the thing that is happening at the moment, Graham, is that Queensland are weathering the attacks from the Kiwis and really giving it back an interest. Well,
Rogers. In behind the line, brilliantly. He had Lockyer, who probably would have gone under the post. Didn't use him. Quick turnover for the Kiwis as this game starts to go from one end to the other.
Well, there is a little bit of luck in the game at the moment. Unfortunately for New Zealand, it is going their way.
Gatorade replay, Lockyer was left posted. Rogers only had to use him, and there was 6 points on the end of that.
Anthony Swan once again really saving the day.
Koenig stepping, sitting up a pass. Swan's there. Namu picks up the dregs. Back for Rapati. Away for Nikau to try and straighten things. Already that feeling about Queensland as Hancock goes sideline that just like the Broncos, they can handle some of the best you can throw at them, then they come back even stronger.
They certainly do, but you know, they've got this tough edge to their game now, the Broncos, and it's very, very evident in this Queensland team.
Sailor. Crowd really knows all about it with every touch he has. Iro. Strongly over the top on that. Annesley trying to kick the Kiwis back to 10 as Thorne goes up the middle. Hancock, first touch for him. Just short of the 50. Steve Walters, support was there from Tallis. Langer. Kevin Walters kicking back in behind Barnett's wing. He has a bit of room to move and maybe go to Swan, but he went the other way, tried to take on Rogers, his Cronulla teammate. Swan slipping as he came to the defensive line. Pace has got to take its toll at some stage in this first 40 as Hoppy eases the burden for all the forwards. Namu, and they really roll with it out wide. Tyron Smith. And again, as they work this short side, Iro looking for support on the inside, had it from Kearney. Kearney got support, and they're gone. 6, and they're all talking about the Jones boy who goes in underneath the post.
Well, the Gatorade replay shows a great build-up to this try. It was absolutely keeping the ball alive, supporting one another. Great individual play. That was a fine break there. Back up Steve Kearney all night, and this is what he'll give you.
Terrific play from Kearney, Huey.
Excellent stuff. That's what we like to see back from him. Tony Iro and Stephen, we haven't seen enough of this all year, but this is what we've seen plenty of. And that's what we're looking forward to time after time. Stacey Jones under the black dot.
Rebel sport profile of a man enjoying a great season, just 21 years of age, head-to-head for the 3rd time tonight against Alan Langer. He's looking for a big points decision. Namu from right in front, not a bad start for him. This was a bit of a question mark, this one, whether Halligan should have been on the wing with no Ridge in the lineup, your specialist kicker, but Namu will throw this one over to get the Kiwis off to a flying start. 6-0.
Well, certainly New Zealand, Graham Norton, they'd be pretty happy. He'd be wanting the clock to go. Get that clock going quick as possible, Graham. That's what he's looking for now. New Zealand with tall back rowers, it's just such a luxury to have in your side, and when they are very good ball players, and they use the ball as they are tonight, and they're obviously being encouraged to do, they're a handful for any side to come up against.
Little David was back on the inside of a Goliath to pick up 4 points.
But these Queensland players, they can respond straight away. They can score from anywhere on the park, Queensland. They've got the players in the side to do it. Concentration now is the big thing for New Zealand. They can't lapse in concentration. They've got to try and build on that lead instead of just protecting it.
Cunningham, probably the best worker in the pack in the opening game against New South Wales. Langer looking for the reply. Kevin Walters outstanding against Auckland. But this defence from the Kiwis is really hurting. And again, Tongia, man who lives pretty dangerously with most referees as far as some high shots are concerned. Ryan kicking behind the line and finding some chalk.
Certainly Quentin Ponga not afraid to run that fine line as far as tackling, whether it's with just inside the rules. He's not afraid to do it. But it is a dangerous art, particularly if your timing's wrong.
Jones. Barnett. And Pongia. Just outside their own 30. Kearney, head down, quickly to his feet, and he's going to get penalised for not getting to his feet to play it properly.
Get up.
So often these penalties can go either way if there's some hands involved in there. But did he play it correctly? In the end, I think the Gatorade replay certainly supporting Annesley. Now, they've scored a try. They've got to dig deep. Penalties just favouring Queensland. Ryan. Look out for Langer and Walters. 5 metres away only as they slow play down. Langer for Kevin Walters. Stepping pretty freely. And again they try and hold him. Hancock from dummy half. They certainly are testing Annesley out as far as holding players down. Langer again. Tallis wide. And Wiki with that tremendous head-on defence. Langer calling for Saylor. In the end, he cuts him out. They kick him behind the line. Anthony Swan will have to hurry. Will not get out of there, just forces it dead. Cool as you like. But that's excellent defence.
It is great defence from New Zealand. Plenty of pressure being applied now from the Queenslanders. You mentioned Kevin Walters and Alfie Langer. Well, really, the Gatorade replay shows us cool head, as you said, but really this Queensland side, any player in their team can produce something.
Peter Ryan's the man who you don't often see kick a lot, even in the club football, but he's gone in behind the line twice already. Namu, big restart, some 55 metres on the fly. Nikau looking for a big hit on Webke. Ball stays alive. Ryan.
That is the one danger with these big hits. If you're going very hard, if you go and try and make the crash tackle, if you don't complete it, the ball's going to be kept alive.
Second time Queensland have had back-to-back sets of 6. Walters. Cunningham changing the angle, but into some trouble. Swinging arm there from Tyron Smith. Langer. Langer. Couldn't go anywhere, inside or out. 10 metres out. Getting late in the count. Steve Walters forced to go out for Matt Rogers. Quickly, and a good ball up Webke. Finally, it just opened up, had to come. It's a pretty easy equation in the modern game. All this pressure. Too much possession.
Well, too much possession. Everyone's starting to get a little bit tired on the Gatorade replay. This hole just opened straight up. Webke comes on number 17 jumper, and he can score a try just the same as the halves can.
Some tired players amongst that in the defensive line, Huey.
It's starting to show through already. Tawara and Nikau just got caught out a little position there. As we see, well, that's not going to do anything. Ponga needs to put his body in behind that. But you can't really stop this Queensland team from just rolling along. They've got a forward pack who just grind and grind away. There's no real ball players other than Peter Ryan in this side. I think New Zealand have the advantage in that area. They've got great ball players, but defensively they need to maintain their intensity. And we see a change, John Temu on for Quentin Ponga, so there will be a reshuffle.
Matt Rogers from alongside the post to lock this tri-series game up at Ericsson. And he converts Webke's first try of the year. So the Kiwis and Queensland, 6 apiece.
Pretty underrated player, this Rogers, I reckon. He did a lot to make that try. Always does good things.
Queensland with the restart. Kiwis taking their time to come back out near the 40. And Annesley starts us up again. Lockyer sending it down for Jones. To hand off to Kearney. Just inside the 20. Probably another big question. When you think of the Warriors' season so far, the Kiwis in the test match, and now this one tonight, they've got to play for 80 minutes and not come up with mistakes like that at their own end.
That's exactly right. Huey's brought it up a couple of times. He does every week, and that's where the New Zealand players seem to let themselves down at times. Just lacking in concentration. The Gatorade replay shows it clearly there. You've got to concentrate for 80 minutes. And the hardest time to do it is when you're very tired.
Langer cleverly with a hand in there on that play as well. Walters for Carroll, trying to turn to set himself up to keep it alive for Walters.
Now! Now!
Ryan. Midfield. As the Queenslanders are pretty bunched at the moment. Webke to settle things down for them, give Langer some time. 44% possession only for the Kiwis against the 56. And Langer's enjoying some of that time now. 10 metres out as they hang on again. To the back line this time, Kevin Walters. Tallis living out there nice and wide, gives it back to Walters. Still can't find a way through as the Kiwis keep their line and push them back outside the 20. Last tackle. Langer. Sailor was a step offside. Got to be a penalty on the end of it. Now he's going to make it another line dropout. Surely Sailor had a step head start from the Langer kick.
Yeah, but obviously the Gatorade replay shows not a lot in it. Not a lot in it, but The Kiwis are under pressure here. They're giving the ball back now with a goal line dropout. They are under pressure. I think they're playing too much down their own end of the park. They've got to get down the other end.
Timu back to the bench. Time to build again for Queensland, and immediately Lockyer goes to Saylor, who's dying to get involved and nearly busts them. Vangana back out there.
Get away from him, Stephen.
Huge territorial advantage for Queensland.
And that's what kills you in these footy games.
Tallis, it's almost like Langer would have to hand over some rent money soon. Switching the play. Finally, Langer wanted to do it all by himself, and he nearly did. Kevin Walters. Lockyer puts the foot down, just got Kearney down low. Real mess in the play. The ball scooped up, pushed out the backhand. Annesley says it was lost. Now, Queensland arguing with Annesley. Langer is ropeable.
Well, I think Queensland are entitled here to argue a little bit because they've been hard done by. I think could have quite easily become a penalty for the Queensland side there. New Zealand were let off the hook.
No doubt about it. Should have come the penalty. 2 and 3 Kiwis involved in messing that one up. They got away with it. They needed to. Barnett. Wiki. Been a long time since they've been down the other end. Hoppy. Just the man to set that right. Good quick play of the ball from him as well. Iro. Looking for support. There's plenty there now from Rapati. Again, causing plenty of headaches for Carroll. Kick and chase from Jones. They needed to go to the in goal. Lockyer is there. And he gets shoved backwards by Barnett too. Penalty will come this time. Barnett was offside. As the marker, he never stayed directly in front of the man. Crowd don't like it.
A little bit of pressure, though, being applied by New Zealand. Ended up giving the penalty away. But at least they got down the right end of the field, as the Gatorade replay shows. He started off straight.
Just got a head start and pushed himself to the side. Penalties 4-2 to Queensland.
New Zealand must take a leaf out of Queensland's book here and try defend this half. Don't let Queensland out of the half. That's what the banana benders have been doing to the Kiwis. Their defence has been outstanding.
Langer. Tallis.
And that's great defence.
Great tackle from Namu. Langer. Back on the inside. Hancock. Hint of a Shepherd involved in that one. Tallis gets cleaned up. Wasn't even in possession. Ryan back to the bench. Steve Walters looking for support. Nowhere to go for him up the middle. Last tackle.
We haven't seen a run out of dummy half from Stevie Walters yet. It's another weapon they do possess.
Beautifully tidied up by Nikau, who gets into stride and climbs out over the 50. Langer's kick was in behind the line and it could have caused some damage. Joe Vangana just tries to turn him around. Now they're digging deep and finding some reserves of energy. Namu and Wiki. Now with Hoppy as they spread it from one side to the other. And again with Jones. Iro. Dummies. Looks for some support. Still gets one away. Namu to step. This one will sit up and Ruben Wiki. Keen just to float this ball anywhere. Jones again on the inside. Tongia taken just inside the 20. Couple of tackles remaining. Kearney stepping, pushing it back. For Anthony Swan, nowhere to go for him. Tallis was high on Jones. And it is the Kiwis who will go back to the bomb and maybe look wide for Hoppy. They run it instead. Now they go to the in goal. Lockyer perfectly positioned to bring it back.
Well, I think that was the wrong option there. Tony Iro shouldn't have kicked the ball. I don't think he had two players outside him. Should have tried to run the ball through to the end goal.
Kearney to the bench. Tyron Smith in 17.
This is definitely the best patches of play from New Zealand at the moment. They are defending very, very well. Now the pressure is on Queensland to try and get out of their own half.
Rogers fighting for every inch. Langer. Plenty of time that he creates for himself. Darren Smith. Just inside the last 10 of this first 40. Langer. This time inside for Walters. He gives it back to Pongia. Now for Swan as this game of counter-attack goes on.
Great play.
And Swan loses it. First tackle and all. Fresh set of 6 coming up.
Yeah, he's lost the ball at the death there, but it is great play from both sides.
6-all.
Stand there, please. Queensland ball, Queensland loose.
Norton certainly got it right so far in this first 40. A side that has caused plenty of trouble in attack and defence, and they've been strong when under loads and loads of pressure.
Yep, but I'm quite impressed the way both sides are responding to the pressure. Kiwi's certainly handling it well at the moment.
Cunningham.
Owen Cunningham does a lot of work nobody sees. He's in the thick of things all the time. Bit of pressure being applied, and they're coming up with mistakes themselves.
Namu. Big arm wrestle, big question to be put to both sides to see who gets any influence at half-time. Hoppy.
Well, the thing is about these Wayne Bennett coach sides, you're not going to see a dull, boring spectacle. They are going to come out here and play football. He's got a toughness in these Broncos that is, I think it's really seeping through to the Queensland team out there tonight. They are looking very, very tough. New Zealand throwing everything at them.
Rapati. Barnett went without it. Not happy with himself in trying to overrun that one.
Well, Tia Rapati didn't quite pop the ball in the right spot there, Tia. Made it too hard for Richie Barnett to grab hold of.
Threw it well behind him. He tried to drag it back with one hand.
And the washer things also, when you look back on the games, these little things are very important.
26 years of age, Richie Barnett on our Rebel Sport profile. Cronulla wingman.
And a good bloke too. He's a real good guy. Ambassador for the game, I think.
Lockyer thrown to ground as Kearney goes back to the sideline to get involved. Hancock. No one fights any more aggressively in a tackle in rugby league than Hancock. Ryan. Finding it tough, the Queenslanders. Don't forget they lost the opening match to New South Wales. And if the Kiwis can win this one, they will go through to the final. They'll shut Queensland out. Through the legs of Cunningham on the last tackle, he pushes it out. Back it comes, and Thorne takes his time to put a kick down to Barnett. But they're putting pressure on the Queenslanders, and it's showing. Swan can't get away from Rogers.
Come back, Queensland, come on.
Rapati. Taken ball and all by Cunningham. Pongia.
Huey, is there much talk down there on the sideline? Can you hear from the Kiwi players?
Yeah, they're all cheering each other up down here, and it is good to see. And Graham, you did touch on it. We are putting pressure on the Queenslanders and everything they're doing. They are coming out with mistakes, but what we're also doing is putting pressure on ourselves. We're building, we're mounting pressure on Queensland, but we're doing the little things wrong. Drop balls, bad passes, everything like that. Missed tackles, the little things that we're doing aren't going well for us.
Come back, right back that way.
But it's all locked together on this scoreboard. And Namu tries to split this one between Rogers and Lockyer. There's no doubt that this is probably where most of the kicks, if not all, should be headed tonight.
He certainly wouldn't be given to this bloke. Reminds me of so much of Ellery Hanley when Ellery was a lot younger than he is now.
Smith.
Same haircut.
Explosive talent. Real match winner. 40 metres away, Queensland. Langer. You worry about it every time he touches the ball.
But you've got to take that inside option away from him.
Steve Walters gets support. Langer will have to produce his magic on the lucky last. Saylor and company will have to hurry. That is rare for Langer not to come up with a good kick on the end of that 6. Good quick restart. And Hoppy has them turning around. Barnett from the other wing joins in. Eru hasn't had a dart himself tonight yet. Tongia, powerful in defence and running freely. Jones, Nikau has support too from Rapati, skipping out of some tackles, frees himself up for Namu and Kearney. But a couple of times as Iro looks set to get back, just not passing to people in a better position than themselves.
Just passing for the sake of passing at times.
Barnett, one-hander for Jones, and he kicks, but for who? Lockyer looks as though he's got time. But they'll pin him 5 metres out.
It was a great play from New Zealand then. Queensland are under pressure, but this bloke here, I mean, if you don't claim him first up, he can cause you all sorts of trouble.
You may as well throw him in the front row.
Well, he's big enough.
Plenty of hit-ups from both sides. Steve Walters. It's going to be a long, tough night. Carroll did well to take that one. Happy to heat it up amongst the forwards, the Queenslanders, as they send it down to the last. And Langer this time will make Anthony Swan and Hoppy work hard for this. But Hoppy has been confident from the outset. Jones back there to try and get some support from Barnett. Wiki. The backs have done a lot of work down that deep end. Wiki, Rapati, Hoppy and Barnett. And here's a chance. Just had to wait for it. Otherwise, he had a chance to get away. Hoppy, the pass was behind him. Again, the pass is behind the man. Jones to Wiki, who had to go from a standing start.
Graham Norton to be a little concerned at the moment because they are passing just for the sake of passing with no forward thrust.
Iro with a short ball up for Tyron Smith. So much better with the man coming hard onto it.
He's worked very hard since he's been out there, Smith, particularly in defence.
Nikau showed it outside. Last tackle. Namu. This one's for Barnett if he can climb against Rogers. Who else wants it? Timu's got to get rid of it. Still the last tackle for Namu now. He spreads it. Kearney's got some support for Jones. Jones might chip ahead to the end goal. Kevin Walters has to hurry, and he does. So some scrambling play, some ad-lib play, but perfectly done at the finish.
Some confident play, that's what we're seeing. Side brimming with confidence at the moment, prepared to chance their arm at times. Gatorade replay shows us here, anything could have happened. This could have actually ended up a Queensland try if this kick had gone astray. Bit of soccer skills shown there.
Cleverly back, and they kept it alive. And luckily it was Kevin Walters whose mind was on the job in cover, dropping back for the kick. Otherwise the try was on for sure. Queensland now to be tested with this back-to-back sets of 6. Langer about 5 metres offside from the restart. That one was sent some 60 metres on the fly.
Be handy just a field goal just before half-time if they can come up with it.
Dying seconds of a tough first 40. night of history for the Kiwis to get involved amongst the interstate classes of New South Wales and Queensland for the first time. Anxiously, the Queenslanders await these final 30 seconds. Kearney. Rapati. Barnett with a little bit of room against Rogers. Great cover came across in the form of Langer and Carroll. Rapati knocks it on a dummy half, so that should just about be it. They tried to hurry, and he just fumbled, took his eyes off it, but a pretty impressive first 40.
Great 40 minutes for both sides, Graham. I think both teams playing very, very well. Nobody in this ground here would be disappointed with the
40 minutes away from a chance to climb into the final against New South Wales. Wagner powerfully away from the 20. Tallis says, where you going? Tallis was keen to go on with it. Tongia, strong first 40 from him. Jones, both sides showed they were keen to go nice and wide. Rapati to take on Carroll. Turns in the tackle. They get it out to the 40. Barnett stepping. Thought he saw a chance down the short side. Out the back door for Rapati. Having a time of it, trying to put him to ground. Tongia again. Straight up the middle to pick up an easy 10. Last tackle. Namu under some pressure. Finds some time for himself. Hangs one up for a long time. Lockyer underneath it. Takes it sensationally. Absolutely brilliant. There were Kiwi jumpers everywhere. Now it's Sailor showing what a handful he is. They finally push him back inside the 20. Tallis. Flying start from both sides. I wonder if anybody can find another gear in this second half.
Well, they've got to be able to maintain the intensity. That's what they need to do. But it is interesting to note we've got forwards on the forwards really giving it to one another out there. It's a real battle between each position.
It might come down to this little man, Langer. On the inside. Lockyer, quick hands.
Don't write Stacey Jones off. He'll come up with his own magic when the time's required.
Points decision between those two number 7s might decide it. Nice and controlled by Anthony Swan. Stepping. Through some tackles. Showing Lockyer, Sailor and company how it's done. Wonder if that ball was fumbled in there. These are the mistakes that can cost you. Rapati went looking for work. He's been looking for plenty right throughout the game, but Gatorade replay maybe that'll show you how Queensland can climb back in on this one. It won't, but that control of the ball is just absolutely vital.
Certainly is, particularly at this level of footy. You just cannot give the opposition the ball in a prime spot like they are now, 35 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Great step. Carroll gets inside his man. Carroll will go all the way. Simple as that. Rapati will not need reminding that they didn't need any more than just the one tackle. And they were gone for 4 more.
Well, Gatorade replay shows a simple backline play here. A step off the left foot from Carroll. Put the foot down. Too much pace. It's been a game of intricacies, this, and it's just now been a simple play that has put Queensland ahead.
Mistakes cost you badly, Huey.
No question at all about that, Graham. We saw from Rapati an easy step there. Ruben Wiki, he'd be ruining the miss on that occasion. But what I have seen so far is the likes of Carroll. He likes to step off his left foot. He's very powerful. He's strong. He's actually a lot faster than I give him credit for. He'd do well in this the New Zealand team, but it'd be a hard one to pull out. Who would you pull out of this New Zealand side in regards to the centres? Unfortunately, Ruben, in that occasion, you'd probably look at him, but he's had a good game so far. I hope he can pick himself up after that bad miss.
Carroll, man who grabs the try on our Rebel player profile. Rogers. And Rogers sprays this one. Disappointment shows for him, but Queensland get it out to a handy lead now after the break. 10-6.
Both the New Zealand centres have played well up till now. Then one comes up with a fumble, gives Queensland the feed in the scrum, and then the other one misses the tackle. So they'll be feeling a little guilty at the moment. It's important though they strike back. They do have the ball. They've got to get down the other end of the park though. It's the one thing I know, I keep harping on it, but it is the one thing that you can't play down your own end of the ground.
Jones handing it off for Swan. Eru. Ira sitting it up. Trying to basketball it. Territorial advantage edging even further for Queensland. If that stat stays the same, you would expect them to get home on the scoreboard. Vangana slowed down in that play of the ball. Kearney grabbed high by Ryan. Crowd were calling for the penalty. Instead it will be Namu calling for the kick on the last. Lockyer. Plenty of confidence, dragging it in one hand.
This looks like a school kid, Darren Lockyer, but geez, a good player.
Rogers. Look out. Saylor. Saylor. Every time he touches, you expect him to get away. Thorne. Namu was climbing high. Langer. Kevin Walters. Lockyer into the line for Carroll again. Taken by Rapati and Kearney. They fight with him near their own 40. Starting to look a bit comfortable, Queensland, trying to get into rhythm and control this game.
Well, they don't panic. They're calm about everything they do.
Calmest man on the field. Langer for Tallis. Goes back, doubles around. Sends Darren Smith on his way. Smith, Saylor! Great tackle, one-on-one, Anthony Swan. You would have had to back Saylor. Langer. Taken nicely. Trying to kick in behind the line, Iro.
Well, Swan's done his job very, very well. I know I named him Nigel Vangana earlier on in the match, but he's come up with some great plays and really saved New Zealand's bacon.
Barnett. They need a play of their own, the Kiwis, to get away from here. Hopping. It's all been happening since half-time. Any real strong male from the half-time break in the dressing rooms, Huey?
Well, all who could get is New Zealand, obviously. Now, the one thing that they did do, they did pledge to each other another 25%. We've seen that so far in the way that they have hit in defence. But it's been a good workout so far of the whole team. As long as they can maintain this intensity, and Lowy did touch on it, we are a better team once we get down into the opposition's half of the field. We play the ball wider. Where we do fall down is when we turn the ball back inside early.
Jones behind the line. Not interfered with, says Annesley. Kevin Walters read that one pretty easy.
Well, if he wasn't interfered with, who knocked him over? The ghost.
Tallis. Thorne. Don't look for an argument from me. I'm a New South Welshman. 45 metres out from their own line, the Queenslanders. Langer. Just in control. Ryan caught one across the chin from Kearney. Looked up at Annesley. Tallis in a bit of bother as well. Steve Walters. Walters from dummy half shows a great step. Langer, quick hands. And the Kiwis come back with it. It was Lockyer who got there in Strong support should have ended up in another try.
But that is the first time that Stevie Walters has darted out a dummy half. Hole a mile wide behind the ruck there. Great run there from the hooker. Gatorade replay shows a little bit of a step. This should have been a Queensland try. A bit of luck coming New Zealand's way, a lot of luck coming New Zealand's way. Really got them out of trouble.
Well, they've got to grab the bonus and they've got to produce something of their own. Already it's been Queensland climbing into gear since the break. Hands and knees for Vangano out to the 50. Namu kicks ahead for himself. Off his feet. He just about got it back. Now it's Sailor to take on Jones. He hangs on, gets support, they come in. Now they've got to force a mistake. They've got to put it to Queensland. Thorne taken. Nilly turned it into something.
Great chip and chase here. Wendell Sailor interfering there, really put Gene Namu off balance. Good piece of play though. Could have turned into a 4-pointer.
Doing all the hard work up the middle, Brad Thorne. Chalice to join him. Put a step on to try and beat Nikau. Steve Walters. Walters again. Langer. Darren Smith sighted the gap. One-hander back. Walters has got support. Clever kick. Hancock and Swan. I think Hancock nailed it. Annesley checked with the touch judge and said nobody got it. They didn't go to a video replay. 10-6. Hancock thought he got to it. He looked up daggers at the touch judge. He won the race, but a great hand in there. But that hand, I think, might have been Swan's. So another break for the Kiwis. Should have been a line dropout.
Well, I'll show you 15,000 people, 18,000 people who disagree.
2 and 3 men involved in the tackle. Had to be a steal. Penalty had to come. So maybe the tide is turning. A little bit of frustration for Queensland.
But New Zealand has got to capitalise on these opportunities they are presenting themselves. Gatorade replay shows the ball being stripped there. 2 players in the tackle. Quinton looking for the help from the referee. Doesn't normally ask referees for much help.
Just one penalty amongst them.
Normally asking for mercy.
Vangano. Now everybody's coming to life. Namu. Tongia. Running at Langer. Takes him to ground just outside the 20. And they go back to the other sideline. Nikau dummies once and twice to bring in Swan likewise now for Hoppy. And for the 3rd time they'll go to the other side.
They've got numbers.
Wiki. Great tackle from Carroll on Wiki. Excellent game being staged here at Ericsson. They keep it alive. Jones. Iro. The big man nice and wide. Hoppy to go infield. Hoppy. Now for Iro. Iro to straighten. Head down. Tries to back himself. 3 Queenslanders show the determination to try and climb into the final of this tri-series themselves. Namu thought about kicking it. They tried to pinch it with an extra man out wide. Still alive, still the last though. Jones trying to kick to the end goal. Sailor's lost it. Tell you what, there was some nerves amongst all of that in the Queensland end goal.
Certainly was. The Kiwis putting the heat up here. They've really got Queensland on the rack at this stage. Gatorade replay shows plenty of pressure. A little bit of a fumble from Wendell Sailor there, but eventually got it out over the dead ball line. Great chance for the Kiwis to attack.
Rebel Sport profile of a man in outstanding form. Sailor who comes up with an error that might just let the Kiwis in.
He is probably one of the most dangerous players, if not the most dangerous in the rugby league world at the moment. Such confidence.
Joe Vangano winds himself up, climbs right to have a check on some of these tackles from both sides, starting to creep a bit high. Nikau from way back, and support too. They're all throwing themselves into it. They climb into the 20. Eru to Nikau again, and support. Kearney stepping. Only 8 metres away. Which way will they go? Jones is the man to deliver. Wide for Iro. You've got to hand it to Queensland with outstanding defence. Powerful passage of play from both teams.
Great sliding defence here from the Queensland team. Tony Iro, a giant out there wide, and really that was outstanding defence.
Carroll did it just a couple of moments ago on Wiki. He scored the try. He's having a great second half. Tony Iro. Now Rebel Sport profile, giant of a man who wears number 11. And he is one of 3 in that back row who's caused trouble. That eye cut is causing more trouble for Joe Vunganar.
Well, he sprung a little bit of a leak, but he'll be back out there soon because Coach Graham Norton knows that he's given the Queenslanders all sorts of trouble.
Had them fired up on the last set of 6.
This sort of stoppage, I think, is going to favour the Queensland side because coming out of difficult situations, they are very, very good, and really it takes the intensity and the roll away from the Kiwis.
Remarkable how much heat, how much pressure, Huey, they can soak up.
They're a great side, this Queensland team. As we've seen with Brisbane, they've been able to soak it up against the Warriors last week, and they're just starting to turn it on. But what we can see is that New Zealand, I think, may need to make a couple of changes here. The injection of maybe Mark Ellis, even Brady Mellon, just to give them a little bit of intensity back into this forward pack.
Tallis, great run from him. Total tackles all square for both these sides. The time in possession and that territorial advantage is going to have a big say in the end. Langer trying to get it away from Swan, but it sits up easily for him. It's taken by Kevin Walters. Just favouring the Queenslanders. Driving tackle from Kevin Campion down low. Tyron Smith. Carroll again involved. That territorial advantage a little bit more for Queensland. Turn that around and you might just see the scoreboard turn around with it. Kearney. Namu. Good quick hands. Nikau. Now Timu. Back they come again. Some more soccer skills from Iro. Got caught flat with that pass. Over the top they go. Namu. Last tackle. Tough game defensively. Nothing in this one. Jones to settle for the sideline. But that might just allow both sides a little bit of time. Jones showing that everybody's feeling the pinch a little.
Well, they are feeling the pinch, but I mean, to win this game, it's going to be won by the side that does just keep carrying on, just keeping that roll going. And I think the stoppages, if anything, are favouring Queensland. New Zealand does thrive on the emotional roll that they get themselves on every now and then.
Here he goes again. So many players want to seemingly go high on him.
You'd think they'd learn, wouldn't you?
Webke pushed it back for Ryan. Still inside their own 30, Queensland.
Be pretty handy if the Kiwis could force an error here.
Come back out there!
Crowd waiting for that to happen, waiting for this game to really explode for New Zealand. Flick over the top for Cunningham to travel up the middle. Darren Smith, nobody home right up the middle. Langer's trying to link up. Langer puts the foot down, grabbed high, not finished off. It's Langer and Walters yet again. has never stopped. Crowd don't like it, but his momentum was not stopped.
Well, the Gatorade replay just shows what a strong run here, straight down the middle of the ruck. No one at home behind the play the ball area. Darren Smith really took that well, but have a look at this little man here. Copped a high shot, wasn't held, popped the ball up to Kevy Walters, his partner in crime. What a great player he is.
Their combination against the Warriors last weekend was outstanding. There was no one for Darren Smith to beat. Langer brilliant in support. Forget about the high shot. He wasn't perturbed about it. And his shadow was there to pick up the try. 29 years of age, Kevin Walters, a veteran on our Rebel Sport profile. We talked about it so often, about those two guys being the difference. 1 from 2 for Rogers, and he gets another one. Kiwis looking for a big comeback midway through this second 40 as Queensland get it out to 16-6.
Matt Rogers provides the extra 2 at 16 points to set.
Joe Vangana. Again, he wants to get back after that blood bin. And now it is pretty tough.
Well, now the question is asked now. This is the question. Queensland's put it to them big time. Kiwis have got to respond.
Tonga. It is nothing but try time now. Kiwis forced to be the next scorers or be out of here. Namu. Norton's on his feet. Just about showing that he wants to get out there and help do it for them.
Well, he could keep going non-stop as a player, and that's what his team's got to do out there for him. Great break
Tyron
here.
Smith gets away. Support's coming on the inside. He went out the other way. Off the feet, said Annesley. No, knock on. They're still alive with this one. Namu staying wide with Iro for Wiki. Wiki for Hoppy. Inside the 10, but it's the last tackle. Namu kicking wide for Barnett to try and get a hand in there. Rogers has got it, and in the end goal. Now there's a call to Annesley from the touch judge that the Kiwis touched it in the kick. Great break on the Gatorade replay from Tyron Smith.
Was a great break, but if he had to pop this ball up properly, I mean, that was a try.
I think it was Anthony Swan coming on the inside.
Back on number 10, Joe.
You just can't afford to let him slip. Penalty comes now. Queensland to go down deep again. Gatorade replay of the ball being stripped with a couple of players in the tackle. One that got away, Huey.
How many times have we seen it tonight? The New Zealanders getting down, getting into position where they can mount some kind of a pressure, and all of a sudden the ball goes to ground, whether it be through a pass, just a drop ball. Those types of things will cost them. It has cost them at least 2 tries tonight. Unfortunately for the Kiwis, they need to get back into the groove, get back up the other half of the paddock.
Langer. It's Langer. Once more. Campion will finish off right in front of the post. Kiwis on the rack. And he fumbles. They were just setting themselves. They had 5 and 6 men left over on the right-hand side. They don't even get to see it.
Well, this was going to come up with another try here because certainly Queensland had the numbers, particularly out on the right-hand side of the park, but the Gatorade replay showed very, very important fumble for New Zealand in their favour.
That might just be a very key point to this game.
The sliding defence, though, from the Queenslanders has been outstanding tonight. New Zealand has had numbers time and time again, but the defence has just picked them off.
Well, what should they be doing to cause more trouble for that sliding defence?
Well, I think you've got to come up with a chip and chase, just a little bit of variation, and just be shifting the ball out as they are doing is effective if you can get it out quick enough. Old saying, the ball always beats the man, but against a good defensive side, there's a good steal from Carroll.
Well, Pongia just handed it up to him. Campion this time to hang on to it. Malum out there in 15.
The New Zealand Tri-Series team.
Just one extra set of sets for the Queenslanders. Darren Smith, troubled by Iro, finally shakes him off, but just as troubled by Hoppy. Saylor tries to walk right through them. Down to the 10. Langer trying to put them away. Thorne taken right in front of the post. It is still a concern with Langer and Kevin Walters. Great quick hands. That was magnificent hands wide for Rogers to grab a try. Annesley checking on a forward pass.
Mate, we're looking at whether he's put his foot on the line or not. No, we're not looking at the pass. We're looking at whether he's put his foot on the line.
He's checking on the pass.
You got that, Ian? Whether he went out or
Annesley's
not.
called for the judge.
There's a sprint mark that looks like it touches the line. I don't know whether it's his or not.
Well, Gatorade replay. He's not concerned about this, I don't think. Or is he? Yes, there's a foot on the line. No try.
It's definite sprint mark on the line here.
Thought that Annesley was also checking on a pass. But I think you'll find that even in that first replay, Rogers' foot cuts the chalk before he gets it down. Jones trying to save it. And that ball's on the chalk. He's out. No try. So even forget about the pass.
Okay, let's wait for it. Let's wait for it.
Rogers, he thought he got it. I think he's in for a shot. Celebration time here for about 18,000 fans. 16-6, they're still alive.
They are still alive, but getting into this last 15 minutes now, Coach Graham Norton may be starting to think, should I put my other players on? Just maybe give Mark Ellis a bust out there for a while.
Just taken in by Ruben Wiki. Sailor Ali just grabbed him too. Timu. Both sides have had a nice break from that replay. Penalty. Now it's about time to grab a try down the other end.
They've got to kick the ball out, get a little bit of distance, and then use the 6 tackles to come up with the 4-pointer. If they can do that over the next 6, I think they can go on and win this match. If they can't, I don't think they can win it. Great kick from Namu. On the very first tackle, they're only going to be camped near the 20. Malum hammered by Campion and also Tallis. Tonga had support on the fringe, decided to hang on. Namu switching back across. Tyron Smith. Inside the 10 they go. Nikau spinning away. Namu just backing himself near the post. Eru from dummy half might even think about it. He goes to Jones quickly. Kearney! Back over the top. Queensland come from everywhere. Now a touch judge has said that Queensland hit the post. Oh, look out, here we go again.
I'm not worried about it.
Now, Gatorade replay. Rogers, Ryan, Lockyer heading at the post. They've got it. And they're back. Timu.
Well, there's plenty of strength shown here, plenty of emotion shown on the ground here as well.
Well, they're checking to see who got the ball down. Now, the ball's right in front of Rogers' knee. Touch judge has got to give an okay
That's
on
a try.
that.
That's a try.
And there's even more celebrations here now. We're in for a rather big finish coming up.
Great wide passing here, but finished up with good strength. Stephen Kearney popping the ball over the top there. Timu, 3 or 4 players on him, all trying to stop him from going over the line. But he showed enormous strength, and that's a try that I think that could put New Zealand on a platform to go on and win.
What a setup. Kearney took that powerful tackle. 3 and 4 Queenslanders there, everybody fighting for inches, and it's been won by Timu. Now it's Namu. This would bring the house down. This could easily set up a win situation. Hasn't kicked much all year, but he might get the one that matters. Remarkable. 16-12, Queensland just. Fantastic game at Ericsson.
And everybody thinks these video referees are pretty good blokes.
4 points in it now for the Kiwis to try and storm home. Huey, get back in your seat.
Oh, this is unbelievable stuff. This is great. And one thing that I did notice, when that kick did go over, the flags went up. The whole of the New Zealand team looked at each other with that steely, cold look. They say they're back in this game.
There'll be a rather cool chill now starting to set in the backs of these Queenslanders. Langer will be barking at them. Just inside 12 minutes.
Kiwis have got to come up with punishing defence now, try and force that error, or just as importantly, try and keep Queensland down their end of the park.
Tallis.
They can't afford to miss those tackles like that.
Tallis. Great run from him. Norton hasn't spent much time sitting down in this second 40. Smith. Last tackle. Langer. Off the side of the boot. Kiwis don't need to play at it. It came off them. Saylor keeping it alive. Kevin Walters has got a kick wide. Rogers with all the time in the world. Oh, makes a man of it. The kick was an absolute gem from Kevin Walters.
Well, Gatorade replay shows, as you said, a gem from Kevin Walters here. This could have just shut the game out for New Zealand, but fortune favoured them. Mistake there from Rogers.
He's having a nightmare on our Rebel Sport profile in that corner.
What we are seeing, though, is a Kiwi side that can come back.
And we've got a crowd here at Ericsson alive for the Kiwis. Smith trying to do what they couldn't in the final moments of that second half against Australia. Turnover now for Queensland. Kevin Walters.
I mean, even though everyone's very emotional out there, they've got to be clear-headed. They've got to be cold about how they're going about their business. Try and keep this field position controlled.
Tall Green getting out there in 15 for Queensland.
They are starting to play against the clock as well. It's going to add a bit more pressure.
Tallis has had a very strong second 40. Green off the boots of Tyron Smith. What a save.
Well, he's had a good game, Tyron Smith. He's done very, very well out there tonight.
Timu runs into a spot of bother in the shape of Tallis. Hopping from dummy half.
Well, there hasn't been much space behind the ruck area for Queensland, but they are starting to just open up a little now.
Barnett, as this game continues to go from one end to the other. Inside the last 10, territory still favours Queensland. Namu for Nikau. And wide for Anthony Swan. Back for Nikau. Tyron Smith. Thrown to ground, but it's midfield. Either side for the Kiwis. Namu heard a switch call. Malum up the middle. Now they push it wide again. Timu enjoying his time out there. Last tackle. Bombs away. Sailor's got it. And he's stepping and bustling and hustling still. Sailor! You never know when you got him. Smith.
A replacement to the New Zealand
Tremendous
side.
excitement at either end.
Richie Barnett up and going in and throwing in the deep end, number 16, Mark Ellis.
Mark Ellis out there late for Barnett. Wedke carrying them to the 30. Langer. Queensland having a rather hot time tonight here at Ericsson, but maybe the hot time could be handled by the cool heads of Langer and co. To the in goal, Swan has to push it over the back. So more possession for Queensland, the most important set of 6 in this tri-series encounter.
I think when New Zealand do get the ball, they must come up with a chip and chase. I think that is one way. Certainly they've only put one on out there so far. Graham Norton giving plenty of instructions there to Tony Oro. See if you can pull this one out of the bag, he's saying to Tony. Very emotional coach, and I think it's great to see. Get him down on the sideline, let people see what he's like.
Out to the 50. For that man, Sailor. Down low, they've got him this time, but he still pushed it back for Lockyer. Right up the middle. And inside the 20. Paul Green quickly from dummy half. And they're only 5 metres away all of a sudden. Langer. Langer! Need I say more? It's Langer. Deathly silence falls over Ericsson. Just look at the balance on the Gatorade replay.
Well, what can you say about him? Tremendous play, just stepped, totally bamboozled the New Zealand defence there. They should have nailed him, but I mean, Alfie Langer has done this to the best players in the world throughout his career.
Well, you've got to talk about Tongia and Nikau. Not a bad twosome that he left standing. 30 years of age, always the man most likely to turn it, and he's produced the goods with only about 6 minutes remaining.
An outstanding player. I mean, you take a side, you have a guy like him at halfback, the perfect foil with him is Kevy Langer as he's 5'8", and you've got Wendell Sailor there. I mean, the 3 of them can take on anyone. There's been some fine performances though in the Queensland side. I think Darren Smith has done very well, particularly in the second half.
Well, there'll be disappointment for all the fans here, but it's been a terrific game. Rogers, right down the middle. As the Queenslanders get it to 22-12. Have a look at the view that Tongia and Nikau had. They were lucky to lay a hand on him.
Well, he's like a jack-in-the-box. Stepped both way, ducks.
Did all of that.
I think the crowd's come here tonight to see magic, and they've seen magic. It's been an absolutely fantastic game.
Well, he had no room to move. And there's been tremendous football at either end. Brady Mallon. Like to see another try purely and simply to come up with a scoreboard that really should reflect this game.
Come back, boys, gents.
But what can you say about the Queensland defence, though, Graham? It has been outstanding.
There he is again. And he's away again. 4 minutes only. Sailor wants to get into the try-scoring list.
Certainly Queensland playing much better tonight than they did against New South Wales. This is a totally different outfit.
Had a great preparation after the Broncos. Put paid to the Warriors. Most of the team staying here all week. Been no doubt about the points decision. Hancock. Langer and Kevin Wallace have showed all their experience tonight.
They have. I think the difference really has been, apart from those individual players, the goal line defence. of Queensland has been absolutely outstanding. They only use a short line of defence, but it scrambles well, slides well, and really out on the edges they've been sensational. Tony Carroll in particular come up with some great defence.
Langer trying that change of direction in the kick. Don't know what more you can really say, Huey. The effort, the performance was outstanding amongst a great game, but Queensland just too good.
Certainly a lifted performance by everyone in this New Zealand team. And one thing they must do, if they can, they've got to try and get down and put some more points on the board, because going out to Canberra for the New South Wales game of New Zealand wins, they've got to make sure that their points for and against is very, very good to secure a place in that final.
Still searching for points. Scramble in the play of the ball. Iro back up the middle. Jones trying to find somewhere to go.
There's nowhere to go because that Queensland defence just moving up relentlessly.
Back on the inside for Wiki to put the foot down. Tallis is there.
Another player who's really picked up in that second half for Queensland.
Namu, they just throw it away. So Queensland got it so right for Wayne Bennett in this second half. Tough game. Really could have gone either way, but it was Queensland who's been stamping their experience on it. Control of the possession. Langer. He still wants to grab some more. And he might. Langer. Thinking about wide. Now, was he finished off that time? No, said Annesley. Steve Walters from dummy half loses it. And scrum will go down. Kiwis to have the last chance at possession. Much improved form in recent weeks from Steve Walters as well. But Langer, just too good.
Well, always carries the ball initially in two hands out in front of him, and that stands up the defence straight away. Good lesson for young players, that. Particularly inside backs, carry the ball out in front of you, two hands. Gives you so many options.
Namu showed it. Tried to make him think he was going to kick. Inside the last 60. Wiki. Wiki still. Hoppy with room. Hoppy now for Jones. Over the top on the fingertips. Went backwards, says Annesley. Now they've got time and numbers. Nikau. Just going astray, the final pass. 3 and 4 real good opportunities in this one have got away from them. Nikau. Iro. Looking for the positive. They won't get it. Kevin Walters will get away. 10 seconds only. Should have been closer in the end, this one. Saylor didn't think about killing it, wants to keep it alive. Queensland still looking for a try. And Ryan will give it back to Matt Rogers right at the death to get one more. Absolutely outstanding performance by Queensland in this one. Remarkably down to the last 5.